Academic integrity is about recognition of other people's work or publications that are used to support your own assessments. It is the correct use of in-text referencing, such as direct quotations and paraphrasing. Remember, research and referencing in your assessment shows that you've applied your knowledge and supported your statements and ideas in assessments using credible sources. Otherwise, it is just your opinion, and that is not academic writing. Now, all Torrens University staff and students must comply with the APA 7 referencing style. Referencing validates your research. It acknowledges the owner of publications used to support your arguments, and it avoids plagiarism. Now, plagiarism is when you copy somebody else's work without the proper acknowledgement or referencing, and it is a serious academic breach, which is why we're taking this seriously. You can also self-plagiarize, and that happens when you submit the same statements or assessments word for word. So just be wary of that, as academic integrity is taken seriously at the university. Copying word for word without direct quotation in text referencing is plagiarism. Now, this is why we recommend using paraphrasing for your assessments. Take the concept of what the author has said, acknowledge their contribution, and use your own words to address your assessment requirements. Paraphrasing allows you to address the same idea, but in your own words. That's going to help highlight and show higher critical thinking and analytical skills, and your assessments will require both. So what is APA 7 style? American Psychological Association Manual, the 7th edition, is the type of reference style which is used by Torrens University and some other academic institutions. It sets clear guidelines on how academic sources are to be acknowledged. There are two components: in-text referencing and a reference list. For every publication or source of information that you use to support your assessment, it must be acknowledged within the body of your assignment. Now, this will align to each statement, idea, or argument that you put forth within that body. A full reference with more specific details of the publication will then be placed within your reference list. Now, you may use the same publication multiple times to support your assessment, but it only needs to be stated once on your reference list. Now, I've given you an example of two types of in-text referencing: direct quotation and paraphrasing. Now, direct quotations, you must use quotation marks for every word that the author or the publisher uses. And for paraphrasing, when you take the concept or main idea and you use your own words to state the same thing. Now, this, again, it gives you the opportunity to think critically and apply logic to support your statements. Secondly, there is the reference list. Now, your reference list must always be on a new page of your assessment. It doesn't continue on after the body of your assessment. It is a new page. The title, references, will be centered and in bold. You'll alphabetically list all of the authors or the publications. We'll touch on how that is done shortly. And for each second or subsequent line that your reference takes up, that will be indented. Again, I'll show you an example. Double spacing within the one reference, and then you will use normal spacing between each reference. As a guide to help you with the basic requirements and format for APA 7 style referencing, your reference list should start with the author's last name, followed by a comma and the first initial, full stop. In open brackets, the year of publication, comma, month of publication, comma, the date of publication, or the day. Close bracket, full stop. The title will follow, and this will be italicized or in italics. Full stop at the end of the title. Lastly, the URL or location of where you found that source, because we all know that you're going to find things online. So this allows us to quickly check and reference. Now, this is a rough guide for you, and it is important that you check your APA reference guide for each different source of publication that you use to support your assessments. There are different nuances or requirements depending on the type of source you use, and you'll see that in my example reference list at the end of this presentation. You may also find that publications have multiple authors or no date of publication. You might use social media or ChatGPT. So just double check the reference guide as each source is different. Now, referencing, we stress this highly in your Diploma of Travel and Tourism. Your referencing grade may be the difference between a fail and a pass. Now, some top tips for you. Read through pages 1 to 9 of the APA 7 reference guide. You may also consider using a reference management software tool just to help you collate your references. We recommend CiteFast purely because it's nice and quick. Now, whilst it's nice and quick, you must always double check that information because it's not always accurate. So always refer back to your APA 7 guide. Lastly, practice. Practice doing your referencing. And of course, join a free workshop hosted by Torrens University. I'll show you how you can access that guide and library shortly. So here is a copy of my reference list that I used for today's overview video. As you can see, I've used a combination of paraphrasing and direct quotes from a video. Now that video was from YouTube and also a website publication with a document. So I've used pages 15 and 27 in the Torrens referencing guide. Academic writing and referencing is a requirement for your Diploma of Travel and Tourism. So make sure you take on feedback, but most importantly, utilise the resources that are available to you. Now let's take a look at how you can access those guides.